that mythological story and the present story.
So yeah, it's looking like a thriller as well, right?
It's a thriller. It's a thriller crime drama. But main thing is it's plot with heart. It is not very clinical crime thriller kinds. It has a lot of emotion. It is about loss. It is about pain. So all those things contribute to the story.
Yeah. Coming to the story, ma'am. So when it was started actually? So
yeah. So actually, we started writing this as a story around 2014-15. I mean,
oh, it's
so that time we were actually looking at it as a feature. So when we started writing, and a little bit only we realized that this story needs a longer time to be told.
Okay.
Like more characters were coming into the story, and the world we've created, Sambalur, which is where the story is set, that had like this factory and this quarry and lot of characters which needed space to be explored. So then we thought this won't fit into a feature length, so we need a long form kind of thing.
Yeah.
So at that point of time, actually there were no OTT platforms in India.
Yeah.
So we actually kept the story aside. We told, okay, they'll all come one day, then we will start the story
you
again.
are waited for this day actually.
So then Amazon came, and then they asked us if we have any story for them. Then we, oh yeah, wait, we have something, and we pulled that out. So then we developed it. I mean, we developed it. So we wrote the 8 episodes for like around close to 1.5 years. So that took us a long time.
It just takes time to write. It's a slow process.
And yeah, it is feature has one way of writing, a structure of writing. So long form has like a different structure. So we were trying to figure that out and write, and it was very challenging and interesting to do that.
So wicked science from trailer as well. And so coming to the characters, who selected the characters,
So each one had a different way into the project. Kadir was in pretty early itself. When we were writing itself, we knew Kadir was going to play that character. Then came Aishwarya. The way Nandini's character was turning out, she was stubborn, she was fiery, and she was somebody who was completely independent. So those things we know Aishwarya is very good at pulling off.
Yes.
It's very close to how she is also in real life. Shreya, we had to follow up quite a bit because she had taken a break from films for a long time.
Yeah.
So we had to slowly convince her to come back into it. Then there was hesitation, and then another round of convincing, and then finally Shreya said
initially she
yes.
didn't
Initially
actually,
it wasn't
she's doing something after 16 years. Actually, we didn't even realize that until she told us about that yesterday. So yeah, and this part also, I think Shreya is just perfect. Actually, all of them, they just fit the bill perfectly. And in fact, Parthiban sir was the last one we cast. Actually, we had spoken to someone else, and that process was going on, and unfortunately that person had some personal things to sort out, like a personal emergencies. So then we got in touch with Parthiban sir, like that was 20-25 days before shoot.
Yeah.
So and he was on board. He told he trusts us or whatever. Then he was on board, and after doing the series now, like we're thinking, much better choice. He's brought in so much to the series.
We can't think of anybody other than Parthiban sir playing that character now. He's brought so much life into it.
Okay. So actually, while taking the shots of the movie, so how many days it took for the whole shoot?
The shoot went on for what 90 days? Close to 90 days?
Yeah.
Close to 90 days.
8 episodes. So yeah, around 90
days.
We had like a lot of locations. It was shot in Chennai, Munnar, then Coimbatore, Ooty, Kodaikanal, and like a lot of demanding shoot.
We see that this series is huge actually, because it is releasing in 250 countries as well as in 30 plus languages. So how do you feel about it?
I think, we didn't start off with that idea, so that came as a big but sweet news for us when they said they were going to localize it around the globe. So it basically, I think everybody at Amazon really loved the series. When we showed them the edit, we sent them the edit, and after they saw the edit is when this decision was taken to showcase it in a bunch of different territories. So the faith which Amazon has on Suzhal is actually very encouraging. They are taking it to so many places, and the platform they're giving this story to reach out to such a wide audience, no, is the sign of good things to come, because then Indian stories, Indian storytelling will be seen abroad. We have been consuming stuff from all over the world. We see European serials, we see Korean, American, South American. Maybe now this will be the first step by which an Indian show will find audience abroad. If it does, it will be brilliant.
That's great, actually great news too. And so coming to the a short with the actors, did you face any challenge while shooting?
Actually, one more thing I wanted to clarify.
Yeah, please.
I mean, yeah, initially we were planning to direct the episodes, and then we brought in Anu Brahma. So, sorry, what was your question?
I forgot.
Was it challenging to direct?
Is there any challenges that you have faced while shooting,
So Brahma
while
and
working
Anu,
with this project?
Brahma and Anu directed the episodes. Brahma directed the first 4 episodes, and Anu Charan directed 5 to 8. So they were the people on the ground handling the shoot on a day-to-day basis. But above and beyond that, I mean, like, there will be everyday challenges in shoot. That is normal. So what happened was, we shot the first schedule. We shot in Ooty, we shot in Coimbatore, we shot in Munnar, came back to Chennai to start the second schedule, and the first lockdown got announced. So that delayed the whole process. So after the lockdown got over, a few months later only permissions to shoot were given.
Yes.
So then we had to restart all over again, get all our actors back together, restart the shoot, and now with extreme care. So everybody was getting tested on an every second day basis, every day basis, and all that.
See, that way our production team was also very solid. You know, we had that festival sequence which has like 1,500 junior artists, and so we need. I mean, they had to test everybody, ensure everybody, then kind of divide them into groups, make sure it's safe for everybody.
Yeah.
So like that portion was actually extremely challenging, because 1,500 to 2,000 people, including crew and all that. Like, you had to be safe as well as you had to get the thing, and it was a mixed group. We had folk performers, we had musicians, we had transgenders, we had actors, juniors, so all different groups, and night shoots also. So it was like a mix of everything. So it was like very exhilarating, but also very challenging at the same time.
Yeah. So what is your favorite role in this project?
Actually, all the characters are very near and dear to us. We've spent a long time writing this, then show running it. Even above and beyond these 4 main leads, we have a bunch of other characters, and all of them have arcs in the story. All of them have part to play in the story. So all these characters are very, very dear to us. So we can't pick 1 or 2 of these.
So actually, we know that Shreya Reddy is a powerful one. Actually, her dialogues and her way of expressions were superb. Actually, so when I heard about this one, she is a cop playing in this series, right? So how was the experience working with her?
She's great. I mean, she's a natural performer.
She has a presence, like when she enters the room, and she has that one command over. So that one threat value is there.
Yeah.
Her character needs to come across as like the strong iron lady.
Yes.
So we actually couldn't think of anybody else excepting Shreya playing that. And when that iron lady has a vulnerable side, that is when it warms up people.
Yeah.
So that is when her acting prowess also shows. I mean, she can do both at the same time.
Whenever you wrote this story, I mean, she crossed your mind that this role shoots to Shreya Reddy.
Yeah, like once we were almost done with the script, we approached her.
Okay.
And yeah, like I told you, it took a long time to convince her to do that role. We were convinced that.
No, when we were writing also that, like she was one of our main, she was the top option.
Okay.
Like very few people have that kind of personality, so that.
So what was your working experience with Aishwarya, Rajesh?
Actually all our cast cast and crew, they're all darlings. I mean, seriously, nobody was throwing any tantrums or airs. Like, everybody was trying to put in their best to make the series better. So actually, Aishwarya, speaking of Aishwarya, so we were shooting on top of a hill and like in a hill station. it was like really freezing cold. So she was like chattering and she was like, you know, drinking hot water and all that. Like we were all covered with jackets and everything, but you know, when she goes for a shot, she can't wear anything. So then, I mean, with all the drrr and all that, she'll be laughing, she'll be joking, you know. Once you say action, sudden transformation. She'll like start crying, and it's a very sensitive. She'll start crying, she'll get emotional. Like you think, oh, split personality. Like what happened? I mean, she just like transforms and she creates magic. I mean, and she's relentless. She'll go on and on and on.
Yeah. What is the best part of this series? If I ask you,
I would say,
what is
see, the fact that it is rooted with this festival, no, that was an experience, and I think that will add like one flavor and one color and one newness to a genre which has been done before. I mean, stories of somebody going missing and an investigation into that. There have been many series in that, but an Indian show with Indian rootedness and with this festival backdrop, I think makes it unique. So in that way, this idea of the mythology of the festival paralleling the story as such, that would be our personally the one which gives us the most kicks.
Actually, in this series, you have shown the religious, like, you know, rituals and everything, right? So tradition and all. So I mean, what kind of, like, you know, preparation you have done for it actually?
See, for the festival, see, this is a micro festival. It's not like celebrated across. It's not like one of those big festivals. It's a micro festival. So, and it was, it had a very interesting mythology, and I mean, that's why, I mean, the story actually reflects the mythology. So we, before getting into it, we did video research also. I mean, apart from usually you'll speak to people, you'll get notes and you'll refer to books and all that. Apart from that, we did video research also. So during festival, we went with our DOP, we shot the whole thing. So then, you know, we can actually reproduce it very authentic. So we have those images to kind of go with that. So actually that process was also pretty extensive actually.
Is there any scene that you have reshooted, like, you know, that you didn't satisfy or something?
No, actually, we didn't have to reshoot anything.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, nothing. We didn't have to reshoot anything. By the time we were done with the shoot, and the edit was also going on parallelly, and in between we had the big COVID break, no? So all those things we could kind of edit by the time the schedule was getting over and all that. We didn't find the necessity to reshoot anything.
Okay. So at the times of set, when you got the free time, so what do you do, people actually? Is there any funny incidents that happened over there?
It's a very serious show. So we were not on set every day.
Yes, I know.
Brahma and Anu were the captains of the ship on an everyday basis. But whenever we go on set, it'll always be fun. We'll end up partying. That there'll be a break day, no? So we'll usually time our this thing so that we go for like 2 days of shoot, and then there'll be 1 day of break.
Okay.
So we will party with our crew wherever we are in Ooty, Kodaikanal, Coimbatore, wherever we are. We used to party with our directors and our actors and all that. That used to be fun.
Actually, and it was a hectic, fairly hectic shoot. I mean, the story is pretty packed, and we have like a lot of locations and like a lot of things to clock.
Yeah.
So actually, it was fairly hectic.
Yeah. Ma'am, if I ask you, like, you know, what is Suzhal means, what do you say exactly?
It is a show you shouldn't miss to watch.
That's superb actually. So coming to Parthiban sir, like, you know, he's a very well-known actor, and you know, he has a lot of fan following, everything. So what was your experience working with him?
So Parthiban sir, like Gayatri told, we approached in the pretty much in the last moment, but he was a sweetheart. He immediately got on board. The thing with Parthiban sir is, no, I think you will see him in a completely new way in this role. Parthiban sir has done many different kinds of characters. He might have even played an union leader, I don't know. But in this, the emotional scenes which he has played, those will be the key. You will feel the pain of a father. So that, I think Parthiban sir has pulled off with such dignity and grace of a father who's searching for his child.
And he brings in these little subtle things into each scene, which kind of affects you from psychologically affects, you know, like kind of moves you. like a simple thing, like, you know, sitting, like he'll just keep picking on this or something. So that sound is also there. So that disturbance in his mind gets reflected with that. And another scene, he'll keep touching the flame like this. So those things, no, like psychologically, it kind of reflects on the mood the character is, like, you know, the turmoil which he's going through. No? Those things, no, like very subtle touches which add a lot of beauty. He has a lot of depth in his performance.
Okay.
And fantastic
Hope you
to work
have
with.
already watched the show now.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first time when you watched it, so how did you feel about
No,
your?
It
we've
wasn't,
been sitting on the edit forever. I mean, we are pretty
I mean,
hands-on.
after completion of it, I think you might have seen with the team, right? So what was your experience at that time?
At that point, it was more than anything else relief. I'll tell you why
Relaxed.
relief. Because we spent a long time in writing it, and then we got Brahma and Anucharan to direct it and all that. So it has, and Amazon has basically. I'm sorry?
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, Amazon has basically, Amazon Prime Video has basically trusted us to, we are also the producers on the show, right? So we had to deliver the show as we had promised. So when we saw the whole thing in its entirety, it was like, okay, what we had promised Amazon Prime is there. It lives up to whatever we had told them that this will be. So more than anything else, relief that there was no problems with it, and it's looking good.
Yeah, tell us about production values of this web series.
But see, like, I mean, general one perception with web series is like it's a small thing.
Correct.
You know, it like you set it in a like couple of houses, a very intimate story with just a few characters. So we want to explode from that. And actually, when Amazon spoke to us in the beginning, also, they were looking at cinematic TV. So bringing the cinema experience to television. So, so I mean, obviously, scale will have to come with a certain budget. So we were given those budgets, and the story also has like these large arcs. It's not like this intimate, like a relationship story or you know, like an office comedy kind of thing, which is like naturally contained. So this one. Like narrative wise plus production value wise, no, and plus we have it set against a festival and a factory and all that. So we tried to pack in as much production value as possible.
And we had Amazon's support in terms of the scale at which we were looking at and they were looking at. Our budgets were big, and we were not looking at this as anything less than a big film.
Okay.
So it had to have all those qualities. I mean, we have shot sequences with 1,500, 2,000 junior artists. We had 2 cameras on set all the time. We had a Steadicam on set all the time. We have used every possible piece of equipment. We had, for one sequence, those big cranes which you use for lighting, those industrial cranes. We had 4 of them to light up a sequence. So there was no scrimping on putting value on screen. So every paisa which has been spent will add value to what the visuals which you're seeing on screen as such.
Yeah.
So what this also does is the drama is bigger. It's not a contained drama. It is a large drama. So you'll see the story move through a bunch of different spaces.
Yeah.
It is not stuck to one location, 2 location kinds.
Yeah, that's why Amazon actually took your series. And my last question is is there any new project coming on your way, and with whom you would like to work with?
So we have our Vikram Veda remake happening in Hindi.
Correct.
We just finished shoot on that. We just wrapped shoot on that.
Yeah.
We'll be releasing that later this year. And after that, we don't know. Right now, it is like, okay, Suzhal release is coming up. After that, Vikram Veda release will come up. And after that, we'll take some rest.
Usually, you'll be having an idea, right? So, I would like to work with this hero, this actress.
Right now, nothing. Right now,
Okay,
nothing
fine.
at all.
So, fine. Tell to our audience about this web series, to watch. Yeah, in your words.
I think you should watch this because this will give you that experience of watching something which you are normally used to in a theater, in a big screen. You will get that same experience watching this in your home on a television. So watch it for that cinematic TV.
Yeah, and it releases on June 17th, and I would request you to watch it on a TV. Because the music, the sound, and the visuals have been created for the TV screen. So if not, no need to watch it on the phone.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Thank you.
spending time with us and sharing your ideas and all. And thanks a lot and wish you all the very best
Thank
to you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fine. ఇది ఇవాళ స్పెషల్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ. మరో ఇంటర్వ్యూతో మళ్ళీ కలుద్దాం. చూస్తూనే ఉండండి Prime9 News. This is Raj signing off. హాయ్ హలో నమస్తే వెల్కమ్ టు స్పెషల్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ విత్ మీ రాజీవ్. ఈ రోజు మనతో ఒక కొత్త వెబ్ సిరీస్ అయితే రాబోతుంది. సుజల్ మూవీ టీం నుంచి డైరెక్టర్స్ గాయత్రి పుష్కర్ ఈరోజు మనతో ఉన్నారు. వారితో ఈ యొక్క వెబ్ సిరీస్ ఆన్ లొకేషన్స్ అట్లాగే ఆఫ్ లొకేషన్స్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్సెస్ ఎలా ఉన్నాయి, అట్లాగే ఇందులో కో యాక్టర్స్ ఐ మీన్ యాక్టర్స్తో ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఎలా ఉందో కూడా వారి మాటలు అడిగి తెలుసుకునే ప్రయత్నం అయితే చేద్దాము. హాయ్ సార్.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good,
Hello,
good,
good,
good, good.
Yeah, it was nice having you here.
Thanks.
And yeah, please tell us about the series.
So it's called Suzhal, the Vortex,
Yes.
and it is set in a small town, an industrial town, which has like one factory, and the whole town's livelihood is around that. So an incident happens over there, and that kicks off an investigative crime drama. But more than that, it is also how that one crime affects the town as such, how it affects the families, and layer by layer, truths start coming out.
Yeah.
And this whole thing is mounted on the backdrop of a festival. The
Okay.
festival is called
Yeah, we could
Mayana
sense from
You can see those
trailer.
visuals. So
Yeah.
it is not horror, it is not supernatural, it is not science fiction. It is pure investigative crime with a family drama to it.
Okay.
When you set this against the backdrop of that festival, no? So each episode is basically one day in that festival. The festival goes on for 8-10 days kind. So each day is one episode.
Okay.
And what happens with the investigation in that. And somewhere every festival has a story. Correct? Every festival has a mythology.
Yes.
Why we celebrate that festival, no? So the story which is happening now, the investigative crime drama which is happening now, will kind of reflect on that original mythology.
Okay.
So we are trying to draw parallels between that mythological story and the present
Okay.
story.
So yeah, it's looking like a thriller as well, right?
It's a thriller. It's a thriller crime drama. But main thing is it's plot with heart. It is not very clinical crime thriller kinds. It has a lot of emotion. It is about loss. It is about pain. So all those things contribute to the story.
Yeah. Coming to the story, ma'am. So like when it was started actually. So
Yeah, so actually we started writing this as a story around 2014-15. I mean,
Oh, it's
so that time we were actually looking at it as a feature. So when we started writing and a little bit only we realized that